What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 33 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Orion Immortal Empires campaign. So, we ended off last episode after killing off Malekith in a potential battle, a valiant defeat, high casualties, Datayan and her Eternal Guard versus the forces of the Court of Libaras, and plenty of them. Let's see how well we can do here. Starting to like those Eternal Wardens, at least up to 100 armor, and they'll have another 24 from the War Drum, so up to 124, and once they reach rank 7, I believe another 12, so we can get them up to 136 armor with a gold shield. Pretty darn solid for a tier 2 unit once we put in the work. Now let's see how they do against all these Tomb Kings. Lots and lots of constructs in range as well. Really got to be concerned about these 6 full sepulchral stalkers. It's gonna be an issue for us. Go. Alrighty, here we go. I think this will be a pretty darn fun battle, and I'm so happy that we've got the frickin' drum back. Taking all bets how long before they betray us again, and the drum has to go. But it's such a nice pickup, nice thing for our army to have. Gotta love that extra 25 armor, 125 on the Telperian's Avengers here, one of our units of Internal Wardens. Solid stats, 62, 65 melee attack and defense, gold shielded with heavy armor and 19% ward save as well. Very nice. We are going to let the enemy close the distance a teensy bit. I think it would be ideal if we fought both armies at the same time, though to be fair, the enemy does have a lot of range support here, which is potentially dangerous to us, and perhaps I goofed a little bit and should have taken this sort of hilly formation, so the formation, rock for ground formation, geological formation, whatever, terrain, that's the one, so that we can take advantage of the hill, but all good, or at least I hope all good, presuming that we can actually win the fight. Anyway, the enemy army crashes into us, Tomb Guard and Sepulchral Stalkers supporting them with a pile of those skeletal chariots, or skeleton chariots, backing them up as well. Ushabti in here to do some damage, though fortunately our Zotes have enough mass to be able to hold them off and prevent them from charging through our lines of Eternal Guard and Wardens. The chariots we don't need to be concerned about here because they are very fragile as far as chariots go. In fact, they're extremely fragile. And they don't have a good battlefield to maneuver in, so they won't be able to take advantage of it here. Now, the enemy is trying to focus us down, and as usual, they're going to try to go after that drum, which has lost about 30% of its HP, to fire from the Legion of the Asp skeleton archers, which are unique to Khalida, and the Ushabti with Great Bow and other skeleton archers. We have sent our lord away from the rest of the enemy army to hunt down skeleton archers, to hunt down Ushabti with Great Bow, as it's most definitely going to be needed. And we are looking like we are surrounded. It is 2 stacks versus 1 after all. Hopefully we're getting decent amount of mileage from our Basti with Ark of Sotek as well. It does have a nice little vortex effect, but it's the overwhelm ability that we want out of it. Wait a moment, or is it overwhelm? Wait, what is it? Oh, not overwhelm, just a poison application by the looks of it. What's it called? Yeah, I think it just says poison from that, because we don't have other things that provide poison, and it's poisoning everything that it is coming in contact with. It does have an overwhelm effect, I believe, if you upgrade it. I don't remember if it's only the last defenders that can do that, which obviously makes it very strong, insanely strong. But the poison effect from the Ark of Sotek and a little bit of extra damage that it does as well is still very nice. Especially since poison reduces enemy melee attack, or not melee attack, their weapon damage, and that is great for an army that is meant to hold the line. which is very much doing so. The bounce power remains in the enemy's favor, and the enemy continue to move piles of units in. This time we do send our mage forward towards those Legion of the Asp. Gotta be careful about having our mage or getting our mage killed like this, but tying the enemy ranged units up was absolutely necessary as they just keep going after the drum, which is now at half HP. Its healing cap has reached about 60%, and it's still taking damage. I really don't like the drum. The game is conspiring to prevent us from having a war drum. But you gotta appreciate the AI for actually trying to focus down the support units. I mean, you as a player would do the exact same thing, so yeah. Ooh, like seeing the Winterheart guards here face off against the Tomb Guard, the Zotes facing off against the Sepulchral Stalkers up above. Though I'd wager the fragility of the Sepulchral Stalkers means that despite their anti-large and their armor-piercing halberds, these Zotes should probably still be able to defeat them. Tactically, not the most interesting battle, but I think it is a great battle in terms of showing this particular army off as un-Wood Elf-like as this army has a tendency to be. We don't have Treekin, which we would normally be using to hold the line in a Wood Elf army. And I mean, we're using Eternal Guard and stuff in the late game. But it's working. It's definitely working for us, and feels so much different from the other armies, since we don't have the high damage dealing of the, let's compare it to the other infantry armies, don't have the high damage dealing of the Wildwood Wardens under Daith, and we don't, or Wildwood Rangers and Wardens, and we don't have the, well, super high damage dealing glass cannon and high maneuverability of the Hobo Loek army and the War Dancers under Iskura. What I'm getting at is I love armies that function differently from each other, and that's generally my sort of concept behind the way I try to put armies together. Plus, obviously, taking your guys' suggestions into account. Anyway, bounce power remains in the enemy's favor, and Datayan is still running around in the enemy's back line, trying to hamper their efforts to kill off our drum. Unfortunately, our drum does have to sort of stick around and stay relatively close to our army, so it can still continue to provide that armor for us. And we are still getting plenty of use out of it. I mean, the effect on the war drum is very, very large, so it's basically one war drum provides that amount of armor to the entire army, and that's very solid. And should the enemy start dwindling in its number of units and its effectiveness in terms of its ability to deal out damage, we can switch the war drum to increase melee attack instead, and allow our army to go on the offensive a little bit more. Although I don't think that time has yet come, at least not while the balance of power remains in the enemy's favor. Although I do think that is deceptive. We are still managing to hold on. Our HP is relatively okay. We have been taking damage here and there, but all the Zotes have their support abilities, flesh to stone, on any enemy or on any unit of Eternal Guard or Wardens that looks like it's starting to lose units. Basically, I just look for any unit that has that losing melee combat sort of thing on them. You just see the little red crossed swords icon, and then I pop flesh to stone on them so that they don't lose any units, which is quite effective when you have so many Zotes, because we have access to so many of that flesh to stone. And then that unit takes damage while its units are unable to die, which we can then simply heal up with the copious amounts of Earthblood that we have from the Zotes as well. That's a fairly decent combination. Granted, this army is very vulnerable to range fire, but if push comes to shove, we can use the high maneuverability of the Zotes, who can run at, let me see here, who can run at 78 move speed, which is very, very solid, to outrun the Tomb Guard and smash into an enemy back line if it's needed. Granted, it didn't seem to be so here, though our Lord Datayan is absolutely working overtime as she tries to keep the range units from killing off our war drum, which is now down to about 10% of its HP, with both its true HP and its healing cap. It's trying to hide in the forest now, so as the enemy doesn't kill it. Fortunately, it does look like the enemy won't have the ability to kill it for too much longer. The bounce power shifts to about 80% in our favor. And it does look like we have managed to hold the line. The enemy unit numbers are beginning to dwindle and disintegrate as well. Well, the enemy has surprisingly managed to keep a lot of its chariots alive. For much longer than I expected them to be alive, I should say. And by the looks of it, the bounce power continues to shift in our favor, 95%, 100%, and it looks like the chain route is here. The enemy is still in a realm of souls, so they are still getting their heals up for those units, but the heals won't out-heal the disintegration. Yes, you are the forest rat. Keep telling yourself that. I think the wild hunters are the forest rat. But anyway, looks like we are just about done here. And the enemy lord, by the looks of it, will be the last on the field, and Datahan finally able to get in on the action and attack the enemy lord. Having had to spend the entire time attacking enemy archers and Ushabti with great bow, Datahan couldn't duel the enemy lord for the entire fight, so I'm sure she's happy about finally getting the killing blow and ending the battle with the fall of the enemy Tomb King. A heroic victory, and well earned. Alrighty, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I really enjoy this army. It feels so un-Wood Elf-like in the way that it functions, the sort of just big old line, including of regular infantry, of elven infantry, and seeing it in action always makes me happy. Unfortunately, our war drum got quite focused down during that particular fight, and hardly surprising, but its healing cap was all the way down to 10%. The enemy really wanted that thing dead, which would have been unfortunate for us considering how long it took to get it back. We're going to abduct the captives for the mana and for the regeneration. Like so, and I'm hopeful that it isn't attrition-y over there, which would kill the drum. Anyway, peace treaty with Arcania, there's no need for that, I don't think. And, did the map get turned around? Why does it look weird right now? There, that looks better. Okay, there we go. That looks even better. Military access with Marcus Wolfhard. I'm gonna say no, at least not until you peace out with the Cult of Sotek. Go fight somebody else. Clan Angron, Belagar, you want us to join war against the Deceivers? I don't see any real reason to do that either. Heinrich Kemmler wants peace after sort of pseudo-declaring war on us. Bellacour probably wants peace and is not going to get it. Will Siggy attack our army? I think he will, which will be fun. Helmrup, still no. You're always asking for peace. I don't even know who you are. No. And no Khalid el-Muntazir and no Ghoul King. You're gonna back away. And, oh, it looks like Siggy will, in fact, not attack us. A little bit surprised, but, oh, good. Alrighty, now. Welch. You... I don't know why you did this. You're dead now. But that's your problem. Seasoned campaigner for Datayan. Line mission aborted because of the drowned army no longer available. Scheme of Doom from all the Skaven at once. Royal Standard Bearer. And our fourth other Trickster's Shard. Forest Dragon for Datayan. Unicorn for somebody. Look on the Sun are completed, and it's summer now, so unfortunately no more resistance buffs. What does summer do for us? Additional income, global recruitment and stuff? Alright. Ritual Rebirth available, Forest of Gloom now. Good. Well, it's available, but we still have... how many more turns? We have 2 more turns. Just to double check. I keep checking every turn, but... yeah, no dice. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. Now, how do we deal with all this? Now, Hotek's oh, you sacked it. And you didn't take it. What are you doing, man? Alright, Sisters of Twilight. I guess we're not gonna do it the way that I was originally planning to do it. Let's have you destroy Welch. He can't run, he's in March stance, and he's dead. I'll resolve this because it's obviously a waste of our time. And... really? Our precious eagles. Fortunately, they'll heal to full, but how to resolve. Then, I would like you to march stance and start moving southward. This will tell Theos you're going to hang around and nag around for a bit, and we will abandon the Chill Road. Then, Delsith, you are going to go as far as you can via the world routes. Try to stay on the road, because you might be able to travel faster. And then you're going to go to Nagron, you're going to sit there and guard it, while the sisters probably grab Hotek's column and then loop down southward towards the Witchwood. Lovely. Alright, let's start from the beginning again. Orion, you are going to besiege Camry, because it is rather a special location. I'm hoping that we can, let's move the tech thieves out of the way first. I'm hoping we can get Cetra to sally out. Don't know that we can, but we gotta give it a try. And 2 failures. Come on, guys, come on. Somebody's might get labeled Blood another critical failure if you keep that up. Alright, and there's 2 things that... Oh, really? Pyrrhic victory? Oh, don't tell me he's not gonna sally out. We'll give him the opportunity, you know? Because we're all cavalry, we can't even build siege equipment. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Siege this. I'm gonna hope that he'll sally out or maybe get another army going somewhere and then attack us. And then we want to try to take both of these places. Stressleith, I guess you're not really needed here anymore, at least not at the current time. We could have you raise Qatar. Although these guys are stealing tech from them, I suppose they could move elsewhere. Can you reach it in one go? No. Alright, go into a camp stance. And then go right to the edge of our friends' territories, because hopefully we can heal to full there. And then try to raise Qatar. Maybe jump over and raise Mount Arachnos as well. Just create that ruin barrier. Alright. Orion is sieging. He doesn't need his 1 skill point because he just got a Durthu. You are going to occupy Grimtop. And try to trade it to these guys. And whoa, hello, what do we have here? Wait. Pyrrhic victory. Against this. I mean, annoying that it's going to hurt our army. Okay, that's the auto-resolve being very silly now. In what possible way could they deal with those forest spirits? And it's a rebel. When they take scrap towers, they might be able to. It depends. I mean, we could help out, but I really don't want the plague, so I think we're not gonna. So we'll just head to the haunted forest, or at least to the edge of the haunted forest, and we are going to transfer those guys. Frankly, a moment. We could send you to Griffinwood. Yes. And then we can give those to Stressleith because he could get more mileage out of them than of the Dryads, I think, especially since he's a regular Dryad. Like so. Alright, and this way Stressleith, does it feel like too many now? Maybe we'll keep 4 and lose 2. And now I don't know where to send the rest of these. Anyway, just stick around here because you can't go anywhere else anyway. Just sit. And just sit and wait. And we'll figure you out later. Loren, destroy that camp. Oh, it's not gonna let us, so I'm gonna have to do it between the episodes. It won't let us auto-resolve it, I'm willing to bet. Oh, it will. It's like one of the rare times. Hopefully it doesn't damage the army so much that the auto-resolve or that the attrition kills them. No, it doesn't look like it will heal up just in case. And... Ensor's Blades, ally mission successful. Faction destroyed, Disciples of the Maw. Yet another faction we can no longer be at war with. I don't think Malagor is going to come down to us. We could destroy the Sunken Karnark just so that he stops bothering Imric, because Imric's kind of having a bad time right now. Or at least not the greatest of times. We really need the... If we could get Goldtooth... Okay, let's build a building here. If we can get Goldtooth to attack the Greenskins, that would really work out well for us. And another faction that would maybe make these guys happier with each other. Come on, be friends. We have other things to be getting on with. Anyway, Dotayan. This guy's still out here in march stance. Oh, but I'm willing to bet we won't be able to... We can reach him, but we probably won't be able to auto-resolve because it'll probably kill off the war drum. Meaning I'll do it between the episodes. Because it's a waste of time to fight one march stancing army, at least at this point in this campaign. Ghoul King. Probably will be able to run away, but I guess we can try to chase him down. It'll still be a few turns before we need to return to the Forest of Gloom. And I wouldn't mind auto-resolving at least a few little armies here to keep Emmerich a little bit safer.
No mercy.
I do have a bit of a soft spot for the arrogant jerk at this point. Let's go for... abduct captives. We're still making solid cash out of both post... okay, you can go. We're still making solid cash out of a bunch of things. Biting blade. Common weapon. We are a little bit short on some weapons, so... might have some uses. Anyway, Datayan, I already checked you, just double checking if I missed anybody, and I don't think I did. Iskura, you're returning now to the Sacred Pool, so go there. If we need to, we'll jump over and kill off some stuff here, but it looks like everybody here, while fighting amongst themselves, are our allies, so we don't need to deal with them. Alan Delling. Oh, we do have a battle for you, yes. I guess we will in fact fight Siggy. Why not? Wasn't expecting to need you to fight again, and frankly, once Bellicor's dead, we'll probably leave Norsca, but for now, why the heck not? Go for Sabotage. And, you know what, I should really get you... Wait, it's rank 25. Man, the Hunt really shouldn't be at rank 25. It's only plus 4% ammunition, and the Wood Elves are very light, weirdly light on ammunition. I feel like that should be at, I don't know, rank 10. And it's only 4% once again. You have no mana still, right? Oh, actually, you have plenty of mana. Meaning we can actually cast a few things. Arcane Con, which should probably also grab Life of Isha for the additional, healing. Anyway, Ellen Dilling, your hunting of Norskins, I guess we'll move towards hunting of SLAANESH and Chaos in general. The Rampage from Fascination is going to be a very big concern for us. Let's hope it doesn't screw us. What's the cooldown on it? 90 seconds, so I assume he can't use it for 90 seconds, so we gotta do as much damage to their army as possible before it forces one of our units into Rampage. Go. Oh, poor Siggy. Poor Siggy. Ellen Dilling's army is probably the second worst army that he probably could have run into. I'm just thinking, yeah, of all the armies we have, the first one would have been the Sisters of Twilight army because, well, how was he? He can't stab the sky. Excuse me while I kill the sky. But anyway, yeah, the second army, this is the only army that doesn't fight in melee at all, but at the same time is fast enough to never be caught. For example, if Siggy fought our all-ranged army, our Way Watchers and Deepwood Scouts army, he would at least still be able to close the distance, because he's quick enough. Ellen Delling's army, however, outspeeds the SLAANESH, so what's he gonna do? I guess we're gonna find out. He does have a Hell Cannon and is firing upon us. If you are surprised by that, I was as well. We did use all three of our what are they called? The Talons of Kurnos, Arrows of Kurnos, upon the Hell Cannon, and unfortunately, all three of them were not enough to actually kill it. Fortunately, we do summon a unit of Great Eagles via the transformation of Kadan, and sent them at the cannon, while we deal with the enemy Chosen and Chaos Warriors. Good luck to them. Down to 26 speed. It feels so unnatural for a SLAANESH host. Fortunately for us, well, we don't have to do all that much, at least not yet. The enemy is still getting closer to us, and we are down by about 30% of our ammunition, however. And it is looking like we might not be able to destroy the entirety of the enemy army before they are... before we're forced to actually fight them, before we run out of ammunition. Although we'll see. More Arrows of Kurnos coming in, knocking down, I should say, a few of the enemy Chaos spawn while we continue to back off. Siggy running towards us, but not as fast as his speed would normally carry him, as he's trying to keep pace with the rest of his army. Ooh, does look like the enemy did manage to get rather close with some Hellstriders and some Seekers, seeking to actually... get the drop on us and flank us. Fortunately for us, a Tormentor sword from our Glade Captain keeps them in place while we riddle them with arrows, bring them down, and continue to back off. Mounts and powers at about, I'd say 80% in our favor. And the ammunition's down to about 40% on our ground units, though we still have a little bit more on the Hawk Riders up above. Let's see if we have enough. Alright, Forsaken are leading the way, but not for long, I'd wager, as they will get concentrated and destroyed shortly. This seemed fairly cruel against the Norscans, but at least the Norscans have a fair amount of anti-air in the form of all of those Marauder horses, Marauder hunters with javelins, and Marauder hunters with throwing axes, pathfinders, etc, 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 plus plenty of very fast units as well, but lots of anti-air, and lots of ability to actually fire back, generally. Of course, those armies that brought, like, 10 mammoths against us suffered very much against us, just like Siggy is now suffering, poor guy. Although, who knows, maybe his army is very much enjoying being edged like this, getting so close to our army, but being forced to stop just as we're there. Prey of Anathema on Siggy. He did decide to run out ahead of the rest of his army, and we're just going to back off once again as we open up some distance. Our slowest unit is our one single Waystalker here, who only has 63 speed, and he does have the Prey of Anathema available, so, well, had. That's how we stopped Siggy. But isn't doing such a great job of keeping pace with the rest of the army. I mean, it does make sense that they can't get mounts, but it is too bad that they can't. I definitely put a few of them on mounts, though I suppose it's kind of hard to well, actually some cavalry units do have stock, or at least we can give them stock by various means, I think. Actually, none of our cavalry units have any kind of stock, so that, well, I guess that wouldn't have helped. An eagle mount would have helped them. But then again, once again, it's not very stealthy, is it? Neither mount of any kind. No mount of any kind, whatever. Anyway, bounce power's at about 90% in our favor. Ammunition just about depleted. We're at about 5% on most of them. Firing away at Siggy now, though with 118 armor and a golden shield, the Hagbane tips at least are going to do very little damage to him whatsoever. And perhaps even firing Hagbane tips at him is a bit of a waste. He is down to about half HP. His trolls are still charging towards us and are, well, having a bad time, but so is the rest of his army. Forest Dragon Breath comes down on the Chaos Warriors, and Siggy and the rest of his army will shatter, and just as our line runs out of ammunition. Beautiful. We had just enough. No way to replenish it, unfortunately, but, oh well. Alright, sorry Siggy, and a couple more shots from something and down you will go. Never having gotten to swing your sword, and the battle is ours. Alright, there we go. Little different from their Norscan, vassals. Sorry, Sigvald, but we teased and taunted his army across the entire battlefield, never letting them actually make contact with our forces. I think SLAANESH would actually approve of the way that we destroyed Sigvald's army, as SLAANESH is a very, probably arguably the cruelest of the Chaos Gods. He tires of his plague things, and even his favored Sigvald is probably someone that he'd grow tired of eventually. So, lovely. We're gonna heal up, and we will, I guess, auto-resolve what remains of this before getting ready to move towards the Monolith of Catan and the destruction of Be'lakor. Post-battle chance of magic item stealing. Nice. Free Banner of Swiftness, an Ogre Blade. I think that's our first Ogre Blade. And kill. You know what, go into regular stance so that you don't waste movement. Kill this. This better not do massive amounts of damage to our army. 0 loss, okay, good. And I guess we'll take the mana. Are we? We're actually full. Alright, well, whatever. You know what? If this army is actually full of mana, it's one of the very few that are, we can give the Book of Assure. I was gonna say Rod of Assure to this army. On the other hand, this army probably doesn't actually cast as much as other armies do. So maybe this isn't the way to go. As in, maybe I should have kept it on Catra here. This army probably would cast a lot more because it has 2 casters. Ah, fine. Put that back to you. All good. And you'll be able to get that mana up and running again. Alrighty, anyway, folks, with that, we're out of time. I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, we will mill through the rest of the 2 turns and pop off another ritual. I think that we've gone late enough that we're going to do the Ritual of the Oak of Ages maybe next, if we can get Orion back in time after having taken Black Pyramid and Camry. If we can't, then we'll do a different ritual, whether it be Forest of Gloom or Griffinwood or Witchwood or whatever, and then we'll do the Oak of Ages in the final battle afterwards, and then depending on if the interest remains, if the engagement is still there, we'll still do the remaining 3. I want to say rituals after we've done that one as well. So, stay tuned for more Orion, just a little bit more. I think this episode, or this campaign, probably won't go to 40 episodes. I imagine it'll end around 37 or something along those lines, so we're quickly approaching that. A little bit more. All glory to the algorithm. Likes and comments below, and thanks for watching.